Hello everyone, and welcome back to Train Simulator Classic. Today we are on a rather special route. This is the Taurus Mountains route by ANDGames. This is the only Turkish route for Train Simulator. Now, quick disclaimer, I know next to nothing about Turkish railways, just what I've learned out of the manual, which is actually quite extensive. And also, I am probably going to badly mispronounce some Turkish names. So any actual Turkish people who are watching this, I sincerely apologize. I'm not native, and I just won't know how to pronounce some of these names. Anyway, so we are at Yeniç. At least I think that's how it's pronounced. Yeniç or Yeniç. Yenice? Maybe. We are heading up to Ulukışla, which is 70 miles away. 1,400 meters higher in altitude, and is going to take us approximately 2 hours 20 minutes. Yeah. So yeah, this is. I better unpause the game. We are in the DE 24000 number 219 today. Yeah, I've actually had to turn the game audio down significantly by about half because the DE 24000 is actually very loud, which I assume is true in real life. So yeah, here's the Yeniç station building, and an absolutely beautiful one it is too. Also, yeah, all the wagons are custom made, all the rolling stock is custom made. These guys went to town. This route is, oh my goodness, this route is also in active development. Active development, yes, there are no less than 2 route extensions and a DE 33,000 locomotive in the works. So front horn, rear horn. Let's turn the front headlights to on. Let's also activate the ATS system, please. There we go. All right, another DE 24,000 coming in. Also, yeah, I'm getting the camera away. This is way too loud, even at half volume. So one thing that is, so basically, the history of this route is simple. These guys developed quite a lot of, most of the Turkish rail stock for Microsoft Train Simulator back in the day. However, they just were like, oh, we can make some stuff for TS Classic. So they made the DE 24000 for TS Classic. And they approached Dovetail about publishing it. Dovetail were like, yeah, that's cool, and that's a really well-modeled locomotive. However, we don't have any routes to run this on. So if you publish it, there won't be any routes for this thing to run on. So ANDGames were like, right, hold the beer. They went back to the drawing board. And 6 years later, yes, 6 years, this took them 6 years to make, came out with this. And I must say, I've had a bit of a play around, I've done the tutorials, and I must say this is one of the best routes in TS Classic. 100%, like everything is just like so well done. Like, my mind is being blown. Also, I forgot to mention we're hauling the Toros Express today, because, yeah, why not? Oh, also, we should probably get the timetable up for today. There it is. We're ready to go. Our next stop is Durak. Right. If the engine wasn't so loud, you can also hear radio transmissions coming out of this thing. Real radio transmissions. I think the devs had access to a real DE 24000 for these recordings. My goodness, that is loud. Also, I can't exceed 1200 RPM. The engine is rated up to 1500, but if I go above 1200, then it's very dangerous for the locomotive for reliability. Yeah, this Also, I forgot to mention that the operator for today's trip is TCDD, or Turkish State Railways. Oh, goodness. Shut it down. Next stop is Durak in 17.5 kilometers. That is a whistle board, one of the two that we can get. Alright, let's get out of here. Level crossing. We've even got pedestrians. Never seen that on any other TS Classic route. No, that's the wrong one. If I put it into the middle. Oh, come on. Okay. I familiarized myself with like how the ATS system works, because yes, this train is equipped with ATS. My goodness, that is a seriously loud diesel engine. You barely hear yourself think even at half volume. If you want to throttle down quickly with the Valse, V-A-L-S-E, that's their name for the throttle, which is like a unique system, then you can press and hold Tab D in order to throttle down quicker. It's a bit like the quick off system that you get in a DBBR 218 and other German tap changer locomotives. Custom ambient sounds too. Flying birds? That's insane. Alright, 100 limit coming up, and then we can give this thing the full beats. On this route, passenger trains are limited to 110 kilometers an hour, while freight trains are limited to 80. My goodness, the noise this thing makes is unbelievable. I don't think I've ever come across a louder diesel in this game. Right, let's give it full beans. I can give it up to 1200 RPM without pushing the engine to unsafe limits. And stop. There we go. We're at 1184 RPM, and my goodness, the noise is tremendous off of this thing. Holy moly. What a machine this is, as Jeremy Clarkson would say. I'm also really interested why they decided to put everything within reach of the left hand. Like, all of the three major controls are within good reach of the left hand, not the right. I wonder what the story is behind that. This is designed with help from France's SNCF, the French National Railway operator. In real life, of course. These were all built back in the 70s, if I'm not mistaken. I think the companies that helped build this are now all a part of Alstom, if I'm not mistaken. And look at what happens if I turn the wipers on. Like, the wipers have realistic juddering. Like, the animation is not smooth. How is that? That is so cool. Dirac in 13, 14 kilometers. Do the barriers stop after a certain amount after the train goes by, or do they just keep going? No, they don't. They go up and stop beyond. Starts throttling down. The Valsa, if you've ever come across something like a tap changer, then this is like a tap changer, but just more finicky. So it's like German tap changer locomotives but on steroids, which is very finicky, but once you do get the hang of it, the speed is very controllable. Ooh. Is that a motorway? It is a motorway. And whoa, a 10-lane motorway. Impressive. And bear in mind, this noise is without the window open. Whoa. I am seriously staggered by how noisy this thing is. Go up to our top speed of 100 and the line speed up to the top line speed of 110 in just over a kilometer. That's good. Dirac in 10 kilometers. Train also moves and clunks in a very nice and realistic way. Let's listen to the rolling stock for a bit, just appreciate how good the sounds on these things are. Alright. Losing speed. There's a guy in his tractor waiting for us to go by. Wait a minute, I have to see once the barriers go. Does he go by? Come on. Barriers go up. Come on. Let's see if he goes. Or if he's... He did go! I know the animation was a bit jank, but that was pretty cool. I don't think I've ever seen tractors as traffic on any other route. Oh boy. Right, throttle down, buddy. Let's do a fly past shot at top line speed. Rail ping sounds too, listen to that. Oh my goodness. What an absolutely superb piece of kit this is. Apart from the noise, you can tell these things are half a century old. Once you push it past 900 RPM, the noise level is just unbelievable. That's 1100 RPM. Come on. We're still losing speed. 1150. Still losing speed. I'm pushing it to safe maximum. That's 1200. If I got anything beyond this, I run the risk of overheating and damaging the engine. Still losing speed, but at least we're losing speed a lot less than before, which is good, I suppose. All right, we will have to slow down to 40 and 1.2 kilometers. At 1 kilometer out, I'll cut the Vulsa. There we go. Vulsa is offline. I'll start letting the speed come back naturally since we're on a pretty steep grade as it is. There, we can finally hear ourselves think somewhat. And just the weathering and the grime on this thing makes it look so good. Like, one thing about Turkish trains, which makes it pretty interesting, is that they have to have a dedicated heating and air conditioning car, because these things were not equipped with heating and air conditioning cars when they were first put into service. So they had to make a dedicated car to do so. Right, quick release. Come on, rev up. Come on. We're losing speed too quickly, come on. Don't stop. Okay, we didn't stop, but we lost a lot more speed than I anticipated. Alright, I've pushed the engine to safe limits. Hopefully that should get us back up to line speed in no time. There's Duroc. Looks like there's another train waiting for us. Oh my goodness, that bus is blocking the whole road. For goodness sake. Alright, it looks like we've got a double-header container train waiting for us. I can't believe the devs are still willing to put in effort on this route, because Train Simulator Classic, not even Dovetail makes stuff for this game anymore. I mean, they are working on another route for this game, like an official one. But that's only collaboratively. They haven't made, like, Dovetail hasn't made, like, fully their own stuff in about just over a year. I'll use the locomotive brake. Also, by the way, note the branded containers. That's so cool. There's a nice mix of unbranded ones and branded ones. Alright, welcome to Duroc. Okay, so we do have a top speed. 120 kilometers an hour seems to be our top speed. Next stop is Kellebec. Brakes to running, like a brake off, brakes release, give it runner up. Alright, we'll be able to get up to a line speed of 80 kilometers an hour in a minute. Next stop, Kellebec in 4.2 kilometers. Can I turn the radio up on the volume up on this radio? I don't think I can. My goodness. I'm going to push this thing to the limit. 1200 RPM coming right up. Alright, we've pushed this thing to its safe limits and we're barely gaining speed. If the Swiss, let's just put it this way, if the Swiss had made this railway, it would have been electrified from the start. Come on, buddy, up the hill. It's much more peaceful in these carriages, isn't it? There is speculation flying around, and bear in mind, this is just speculation. Nothing has been confirmed. ANDGames, I suspect, might be developing stuff for TSW, for Train Sim World. And the reason for that is they actually released renders of the VE33000 in Unreal Engine. Imagine if we got this route in Unreal in TSW. Man, that'd be so cool. It would be a definite break from the US, UK, Germany content that we usually get. It would be only the second Asian route after the Tadami line in Japan by Union Workshop. Also, yeah, that's our fuel. I should have checked beforehand. How much fuel do we have? 99%. Okay, we're more than good. Oh my goodness. That's our fuse cabinet. That's the second fan seat. There we go. Oh, we've got a cabin view. We've got passenger view with looks like quite a few different angles. Holy, that is quite a lot of angles. Look at the view. Look at the view out of these passenger windows, man. We even got luggage on the overhead racks. That is sick. The devs really went to town with this route, I must say. Alright, there's Kellebec. We have a 70 limit coming into Kellebec. Let's start running this thing down. Down to 1,000 RPM. There are faults. Also, what also makes this look pretty cool is that there are faults that you can do. Alright. Come on, up the hill. Up the hill. Come on. Right, shut it down. 300 meters to Kellebec. There's nothing really like this in Train Simulator. Nothing else like it. Oh my goodness, that's loud. Holy crap. One thing we do have to do is, because this platform is so short, we'll have to pull quite a bit forward because we have the heating van right behind us. Right, shut it down. I'm afraid we'll be blocking, but I don't think we have a choice because the platform's so short. Alright. And also, because we're on a 2% gradient, I'll keep the train brakes on minimum. Looks as though some people have gotten off, which is nice. Authentic traffic too. What I am worried about is starting the train on this 2% grade. Oh, we've got station signage, nice. So what are our stops after this? Karaisali, Hachikiri, Belemedic, Pazanti, Chiftahan, Gamush, and Ulukashla. Yeah, I'm surprised a town of this size warrants a stop for the Toros Express, but let's be realistic. Do these doors open? Doesn't look like it. I should have, on second thoughts, I probably should have pulled forward so the heating van and air conditioning van was over the level crossing, but there you go. Yeah. Very small town, this. Very small. I think we're about to go, so I'll get back in. Next up is Karaisa-Lipenkagi Station. Let me see. So, you and... Let's run her up. Come on. I'll go full RPM just to try to get just a starter. Ha 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 ha! Yes. Full throttle seems to be working. I don't want to push it any further. I've got an engine temperature gauge. We are pushing it, but no, that's not it. That's my amperage gauge. What am I thinking? There's my engine temperature gauge. It doesn't seem to be moving, thankfully. We can go up to 75. Oh, that's what F7 does. Okay. Alright, come on, buddy. Look at that view. I know it's Train Sim Classic and stuff isn't rendered, this distant scenery isn't rendered very well, but that's still a gorgeous view, not gonna lie. Oh, we're overheating. We're overheating. That's not good. Yeah, we've pushed it. We pushed it to 85, and that seems to cause problems. This is the engine temperature gauge. Oh, hello. Frameage is not doing that well. We just had the first brief period of low frames that I've had on this entire route. This route is very well optimized, I must say. Come on, buddy. Alright, here's our first tunnel. Wow, that was a short tunnel. I can't believe we're having to climb 1,400 meters along the entire route. That is, to put it frankly, nuts. I don't think there's really any other route that I can think of that would compare to that, except for something like a Swiss meter gauge railway, like the Arosa or Bernina lines. Has the engine temperature decreased? No, the engine temperature is still holding, so I think this is the maximum. Another tunnel. We are losing speed. I'll push it to 1100. But that's as far as I'm willing to go. Otherwise, I will very likely start overheating. Oh my goodness, this scenery is absolutely gorgeous. Holy. Come on, buddy. Up we go. .4 kilometers to Paris, Ali. Dang. Okay. I don't want to push it any... Oh, I just banged my mic. Sorry if you heard something. We aren't even doing line speed. Imagine trying to come up here with a freight train. This would be terrible. But, by the way, viewers, I do have plans to make a video on freight operations on this route with like a double-header freight train. That'd be awesome. It's so cool how we can have a functioning radio. I use the word functioning in a loose sense because all we're hearing are through the radio recordings of actual radio transmission, but it's the closest we have to a functioning train radio in any train simulator. I think maybe SimRail has the best version. I think that is semi-functional, but other than that, let's check the engine temperature gauge. Yeah, engine temperature's increasing. If it gets to 95, the throttle will automatically deactivate. I think I have to throttle down. I don't think I have a choice. But that does mean we are losing speed quite rapidly. It's a delicate... Oh yeah, and even then the overload rectifier still kicked in. Oh, we've got a speed board coming, whistle board coming up. Oh, whistle board. Alright, into the tunnel. I think I have to push this thing. Otherwise, we're not going to get up this hill. Oh, hello. Nice bridge. There's a specific place I want to get a thumbnail, this is not it. But that's still a nice looking bridge, I must say. Check the gauge. I think it's holding steady, it might have slightly increased. I don't know. Come on. I see Karaisali up ahead. If we can just get there, and if we're there for a good amount of time, that means we can allow the engine to cool down at the stop. I don't think I've ever had to take engine temperature into consideration before. But because this unique locomotive and the uniquely steep route, I don't think I have a choice. I think I am taking a calculated gamble here. I'm pushing it up to Karaisali, and then, yeah, I think it is increasing gradually. I'm taking a gamble. Oh, hello. Throttle down. Here's Karaisali. We're really beginning to get to the mountains. Oh, hello. That's it. Okay. Why? I'm not pressing the button. Okay. Alright, here we go. Oh, it's a gypsum hopper train. I think. Yeah, it is. Alright, here we go. Yeah, loaded with gypsum. Oh my goodness. Alright. We're on a level grade, so I'll take the... Nope, release. Alright, welcome to Karai Sali. We are clear for the next section of track. Oh my goodness, this is a tiny settlement. I'd say a few hundred people. Next stop is Hachikiri in 9 kilometers. Let's give it the beans. Here we go. My goodness, we are definitely climbing. My goodness, that is a serious traffic jam. My goodness. The scenery is gorgeous, man. Absolutely gorgeous. Alright, we're clear up to 75. Hopefully our stop allowed the engine to cool down. It did! It cooled down by almost 10 degrees. But that is worrying. I might have to remain at stops longer in order for the engine to cool down. That's not good. Goodness. I feel really bad about pushing the engine to its limits. Oh man. But look at that scenery! Holy! Looks like there was a station here once. Looks like it got abandoned a long time ago and demolished. engine temperature. It seems to be holding at around 88 degrees. But the magic number is 95, so yeah. Look at that. I know it's a bit low rendering distance, but that's still beautiful. Holy. We're like climbing up the side of a cliff. Hello. I have to throttle down. I don't have a choice. Damn it. Okay, the place where I want to take the screenshot of the train is in about 3 kilometers. It's called the Varda Viaduct, and if you still don't know what that is, I think it's a bridge Daniel Craig jumps off in the James Bond film Skyfall. So I haven't actually seen Skyfall yet, but there you go. Let's rev her up again. Leave it at 1100 RPM. Man, this is a long, slow, arduous climb, I must say. I imagine the climb isn't as arduous these days because nowadays the entire this entire line has actually been electrified. It's still single track, but it has been electrified. Engine temperature gauge check. Seems to be holding it around 88 degrees. My goodness, this scenery is stunning, man. No wonder this took them 6 years to make. It's so good. The scenery is so good that, yeah. Whoa, look at this gorge we're going through. Whoa. 9 kilometers to go. The estimates will be there actually a minute early, which is pretty nice. Frame rate, this route is really well optimized. The frame rate is actually doing exceptionally well. Hopefully we have a bit of a longer stop at Hachikiri, so my engine can cool down a bit. We're still on a steady 2.3% grade. Though, I do have something to say. This would probably kill most British diesels. That American diesels might be able to handle it. Like those big American freight trains might be able to handle something like 2.5%, but British diesels would not be able to handle this for this extended period of time. Especially like something underpowered like the Class 142 Pacer would especially have problems on this hill. If I got Armstrong Powerhouse's Pacer, I could actually run it on this route and find out, but I'm not paying the whatever it is, £30 for AP's Pacer, no matter how good it is. Alright. Looks as though the gradient's leveling out. Temperature's holding steady. I'm pushing it to 1200. To have a road following us. My goodness. Okay, come on, buddy. Up the hill. Come on. Oh! Crap, engine temperature is going off the scale. I have to... Yes! It's leveling out my speed. Thank goodness. Whoa, look at those rock formations up there! I'm just marveling at this scenery. This is the best scenery that I've ever seen in TS Classic. Apart from maybe the NZTS Workshops Midland. Here we go! The Varda Viaduct, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness. Alright. And pause. And let's try and get a good shot. Why don't we? Might have to sing. No. Give me 20%. Stop being annoying. My goodness, that's a house. Oh yeah. Do I want something a bit closer? Yeah, I probably want something a bit closer, like maybe like that. Take the shot. Yeah, that's pretty cool, not gonna lie. Alright, I need to slow down. That is the highlight of the route. The Varda Viaduct, man. That is beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. I know I'm speeding. I'll slow down. Oh, I didn't have the brake on, that's why. I didn't have the brakes on, that's why. Okay, I am slightly late, but hey, we didn't overheat, and that's the crucial part. Alright, since we have a relatively short platform, I am going to try and stop so the train and the guards van are past the stop. This is going to be a bit of a This is going to be quite interesting, I must say. My goodness, those insects are loud. Let's just coast. And now. Full service. Let's see. Okay, we got the entire amount of passenger carriages in the platform, which I will take. Oh no, it's an abbreviated stop here. No, why? I need the engine to cool down, please. Quick release. Next stop is Belemedic, which is like the halfway point on the route. As runner-up. Come on. I barely had time to cool the engine down. It did get down to 80 degrees though, which I will take. We've got a long tunnel coming up. Limited is how far away? 15 kilometers. Okay. My goodness, this tunnel looks long. Here we go. Tunnel ahead. It looks as though we're restricted to 40 for the duration of this tunnel. We've got passengers now. Not animated, but then I wouldn't expect that from a TS Classic add-on. Would expect animated passengers in a train carriage for a TS Classic add-on. As far as I can tell, this tunnel is dead straight, so I don't really know why we're restricted to 40 kilometers an hour in this tunnel. Oh, no, we can go up to 75. Pressing engine to safe limits. While we're on a relatively smooth, flat gradient, we should gain as much speed as we can. Come on. One interesting thing about the DE24000 is it does not have a DSD, or driver safety device. Like, no dead man pedal or anything like that. Maybe it does? I'm just blind, but I don't think it does. Finally approaching something close to line speed, look at that. 12.5 kilometers to go. My goodness. Oh, that is a long way down. at line speed. Looks as though gradient will start increasing. Good thing I got the run-up I needed. So how far are we along the route? Maybe between a third and a half. There it is, guys. No, never mind. There's so many tunnels. Is at safe limits. Finally, sunshine! And it's gone again. Like, oh wow, this tunnel seems to be composed of a totally different kind of rock. Interesting. Looks like it levels off for a bit. That's good. Oh my goodness, that was a long way down. Did you see, for a brief second, you could see how far down it was. And there you go. Oh my goodness, that is a long way down. Rip it down. We'll have a level grade. Look how far down that is. You kind of can see to the bottom of the valley. Goodness gracious. Drive it down, 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 down. We still have a lot more to climb. Oh, this tunnel looks different from the rest. Looks like it was huge. Doesn't have any, like, a proper portals. It's just hewn out of the rock. Oh my goodness, that's a long way down. Goodness, there's so many tunnels. Only 4 kilometers to Belebedic. I can't believe we've been in tunnels for most of the trip, for most of the time since the last station, which was called Hachikiri. That was the one. Oh, I'm speeding. Crap. Drive it down. Oh, that's the wrong button. There we go. So, estimates will be at Belebedic in 3 minutes. Which is precisely on time. Nice. Why does my engine sound like it's about to fall apart? What the? No, I don't think... I think that was the radio. Someone sounded as though... I think that was the radio. 40 limit coming up in a few minutes. The Lemonic in just under 2 kilometers. We seem to be coming into civilization, some kind of civilization. Kilometer to Belemedic. Other trains here? No, sadly. Hopefully we have a longer stop here to allow my engine to cool down a bit. Another absolutely gorgeous station. A perfect stop. That's what I'm talking about. Alright. Yeah. Didn't get the entire train in, but then the platform isn't long enough, so makes sense, really. Another absolutely beautiful station building. Next stop is Pozzanti. We are officially halfway. Pozzanti is in 10 kilometers. So we've covered the vast majority of stations, but we're only about halfway along. Alright, 75 limit coming up in a bit. Oh yeah. We're still climbing. gradually getting to line speed. Mountains are beautiful. I know a lot of it isn't in render distance, but that's still gorgeous. What is the water doing, man? Kazanti in 4.5 kilometers. We seem to be in some kind of civilization. We do have a 40 limit coming up in a bit. Oh, one thing I don't like about these passenger carriages is the 3x2 seating layout. I don't like 3x2 seating layouts in general. Alright, shut her down. What's my camera done? It's now zoomed really far out. Doesn't matter. It's fine. 700 meters to Pazanti. Looks like there's another train waiting for me. The 2300 service 2308. Oh my goodness, that's a long one. Probably a whoops, wrong button. Probably a freighter. Yeah, it is a freighter. Thanks for waiting for me, mate. Sorry I'm late. Actually, no, I'm almost precisely on time. Wait a minute, was that a 3 locomotive formation? Yeah, it was. Goodness gracious. He should get clearance to go any minute now. He's probably got clearance. This is actually a quite substantial yard. Cool. The Taurus Express is here. It doesn't really seem to be an express since we're stopping at every station, but there we go. I'll just let it go. There's even a little footbridge! And the station is a lovely design too. Alright, come on, buddy. Let's get this stop as perfect as we can. And now... overshot a bit, but there we go. Ooh, we are here. Okay, we're here for a few minutes, so... let's have a bit of an explore, why don't we? So yeah, this is more of a this is definitely a more substantial area than previous. Look at that building, bro. The Pazanti building is beautiful. Wow. I love the architecture and the colors. It's just so different from everything else we've got in TS Classic right now. It's just completely out of the norm for everything else we have in this game right now. Next up is Chiftahan. Next up, Chiftahan in 15.5 kilometers. And after that, it's Dubus and Ilukishla. So how far are we along the route? Yeah, we've covered a substantial portion. Wait! Once the train passes by, I want to show you something. My goodness. Look at that! Working traffic lights for cars, baby. How cool is that? In a bit of a street running section. That's a very odd fence too. get to the limit. Hopefully this doesn't blow up the engine. Clear track section ahead. Tunnel, short one. That is. You seem to be following a motorway and a major road. Oh my goodness. Gear grinding. Come on. Artahan and 8.7 kilometers. Then after that it's Jabus and Ulukishla. There we go. Nope, wrong button. going to get steeper. Lovely. Oh, hello. Is that a yellow signal? That is. Uh-oh. Right, I gotta slow down. I gotta slow down to 65. Yellow signal means a speed limit restriction of 65 will kick in. Yep, there we go. 65 km control on the ATS. Are we single track all the way to Chiftahan? We are. So why? Maybe that guy's in my platform? Steep from here all the way to... I'm losing speed. I can, by pressing C on the keyboard, I can release the speed restriction, but honestly, it doesn't really matter. I'll keep it in place. It personally does not matter to me whether that 65 km/h control remains online or not. Is our third to last stop of the day. Frame rate has held steady basically the entire time. Oh my goodness, that guy sounded as though he's transmitting from something. I forgot over points it's a 30 limit. That was my bad. That's my bad, I didn't realize. So what's this guy? Oh, it's another passenger train! Nice, but with different carriages this time. This could be the Sukurova Express? Possibly? I don't know. If it's a green signal after this station, I'll hit C on the keyboard to get rid of the speed restriction. This is a long platform. This is one of the longest platforms I've had all day. Alright, no speed restrictions in place. I'll release the brakes. Welcome to Chiftahan. I think it's pronounced Chiftahan. Got this guy over here. Wonder, does it say what it is? No, it doesn't. It just says the service number 21302. Doesn't say what express kind it is. Maybe it's just a local service. Yeah, we've got a green signal ahead. On to the next part of the line. My goodness, this is actually a tight platform with 2 passenger trains here. Ah! That noise, the noise of the doors closing made me jump! Haha, that's funny. Loco brake is released. Next stop, Jumus, in 15 kilometers. Climbing even further. Engine has been pushed to safe limits. We're on a 3% grade and losing speed. I know it's a gamble, but I just have to keep the engine at full power, otherwise I will lose speed, and I might even have to push it into unsafe levels in order to try to get up this hill. Which I know isn't the best situation, but hey. If I drop below 30 kilometers an hour, I'm pushing the engine to 1500 RPM. I don't even care. I need to get up this hill. We are gaining speed. Finally, I didn't have to push the engine beyond 1200. according to my ETA, it's 9:30. I'm supposed to be there by 9:36. Temperature check. You seem to be holding it around 88 degrees. Come on, buddy. Gradient has increased to 2.8%. This is not good. Nice river. Tunnel. Wow, we have covered the vast majority of the route, I must say. maybe approaching civilization? Maybe, maybe not, who knows. Yes, the grade appears to be leveling out. Oh, thank goodness. We spent far too long crawling up that section. Just under 6 kilometers to Jubas. Oh, yellow signal. That's not good. I need to slow down. There we go. 65 living coming into force. So it's no, the yellow signal. .5 kilometer control activated. Oh, there's a, yeah, that's why there's a train at 13010 waiting for us. Alright, I've released the speed restriction, so yeah. If we want to try to stay on time, I need to release the speed restriction. Sadly. Here we go. In 1 kilometer, and then we can go on to Lukashla. Wonder how many people who bought this route actually have completed an entire run in one go. Let me know down in the comments, if you have this route, have you ever done a full end-to-end route in one go? Oh crap, I put the reverser in the wrong spot. I think we might actually be on time. We have to do 500 meters in 2 minutes. Come on, rev up. Come on. That's if we don't stall out on this hill. Thank you. Meters to go. What on earth? Is that a tree? That, I think that tree asset is having problems. What in the? What the? I've never seen that before. It must be a bug. Double header. Yeah, that's a tree. Those are trees. Why are they so tall? Goodness. Alright. Wow, this is a very short platform. I have to try and get the train in the proper spot. Full service, on the brakes. There we go. Open the doors. Why aren't the doors opening? Oh. Have they opened on this side? No. Why isn't it registering why isn't it registering that we're in the platform, like we are? What's going on here? Why isn't the train? Why? What's going on here? Why I'll remain here for another minute. If not, I'm pulling forward. Because this is weird. Yeah, I'm moving forward. If it doesn't register that we're... If it doesn't register that... my train is actually supposed to be in the platform... Let's see if this works. Full brakes. There we go. Okay. Just, I hadn't pulled far enough forward for some... The game wasn't registering that before for some reason. Lovely jubbly. Slam doors. Lovely. Second to last stop of the day. There goes that cargo train. Alright, next and final stop of the day, Lukashla in 13.2 kilometers. What the? Come on. The heck? What's going on here? Why can't I rev up? Let me rev up. Why the engine is revving up, but it's not going to the wheels? Maybe that's why. Oh, hello. Come on. Yes, there we go. I had the loco brake on, that was why. Because it recognized the loco brake was on, it wasn't letting me put power through to the wheels. Thank goodness. Right. I cannot wait to get to Lukashla and finally complete the saga. $500 meters to a 90 kilometer an hour limit, yes. And there we go. Just under 13 kilometers to go. Limit in place, let's rev the engines up to maximum. Or I should say safe maximum. There we go. Safe maximum on. Engines on safe maximum. Climbing, but it doesn't seem to be as steep as before. The gradient will increase. Finally on a dual track section. Interesting. Oh, there's the Alcatazi gypsum quarry. You can load stuff there, and then there's the Michelin. I think the gypsum quarry is the only part of the route which we're not stopping at today. Let's have a bit of a look. Let's have a bit of a look-see around. Yeah, look, here we go. We've got trucks, a road leading up this direction, and then, yeah, loading spots over here, and then, yeah, and then the side. Right. If there are any, I don't have the timetable time for speed restriction, so if there is a yellow signal, I'll get rid of the speed restriction. 6 kilometers to Ilukishla. There are any manual points at Ilukishla that I have to deal with. No, it doesn't look like it. There are some manual points, but I'm not going anywhere near there. Okay, we have a yellow signal. There we go. Speed restriction. It is. Speed restriction has been gotten rid of. Three kilometers to run until the end of our trip. What a trip this has been, ladies and gents. A 1,400 meter climb. The absolutely gorgeous scenery. I can recommend this route to anyone who wants to get it, though I wouldn't get any TS Classic stuff at full price nowadays. Get it on a get it from Steam and get it on a good sale. I think, like, with all the stuff they're actively working on, the 2 route extensions out of Yenis, Yanich, and Yanicha, and also the DE 33,000 locomotives they're working on. The future is looking bright for this route. I can highly recommend it. I would give it a 9 out of 10, honestly. .5%. .40 limit coming up. I'll rev it down. Next junction we go over, the speed limit is going to be 30 miles an hour. It's going to be 30 miles an hour. Okay, next signal is going to be at danger, but that is past Ilukishla, so... Wrong button. And here we are, welcome to Ilukishla. We do have a 30 limit coming into force, so apply the look and brake. Right, speed limit. Alright. Speed limit has gone down to 30. Welcome to Ilukishla, everybody. What a trip this has been. Absolutely. I have not enjoyed myself more in TS Classic in a long time. Alright, this freighter's probably wanting to leave in a few minutes. Oh, there goes a container and tanker train. Alright, so I want to try and get as much of the train within the platform as possible. Hopefully it doesn't have the same glitch that we had at Jumus. What an absolutely beautiful route this has been. Full stop. There we go. There goes the container train. Welcome to Ilukishla, everybody. All we have to do is wait for the passengers to disembark. My goodness. Oh my goodness. The brake squealing on these containers. Oof. Almost there. Scenario incomplete. Excuse me. That is ridiculous. Oh. Speeding. Picked up passengers at 8 out of 10 platforms. Excuse me, I picked up passengers at 10 out of 10 platforms. It recognized it picked up at 10 out of 10 platforms. Anyway, I know I completed it. The game might not think I completed it, but I definitely completed it. So yeah, that'll be all for this video, for this exceptionally long video, everyone. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye, and thank you so much for watching.